ain't nothing like a funky beat.
Hello everybody, welcome to another exciting Guapish at the Disco album review. This week, and by week I mean this episode, I guess, we reviewed the 2019 Rainbow Frontier album by artist Silentroom. This is their debut album. I think it was primarily used for a rhythm game. I'm pretty sure like Beat Mania or something. I cannot fucking find anything about this. I had something pulled up previously. Can't find it anymore. It's gone. I don't know what happened. But yeah, initially when I was talking about this album, you know, when I picked it on our last review, I said it was like an experimental electronic album. And I only knew that because I only know one song on this album. And if you know anything about this album, you already know what song it is. So I just kind of assumed the rest of the album was going to be in a similar style to that one, but no, this is a much more cut and dry electronic album than I initially anticipated it being. There are certainly some more experimental tracks in it and unique sounds, but for the most part it is pretty by the books. It's nothing crazy going on here, I wouldn't say. And I guess I'm going to pass the torch to you, Tanisha. You didn't review our first electronic album, that being UFO by Camellia,
Gosh,
so I guess
I liked that first one, the Camellia album. I watched the review, I listened to some of the songs, and I liked it. This album I don't like as much. I don't know what's wrong with me, per se, but I'm starting to see the differences in these electronic songs, if that makes sense. The first few songs give me that, like, video game Mega Man vibe, and I've like quickly discovered that when it comes to that, I really like
You're
that.
just fucking Nico.
I don't really like anything else. Yeah, I am. Yeah. I didn't know that, though, to be fair. I didn't know that until this podcast and discovering myself. But yeah, I am the putrid piece of shit because the first 3 songs are dope. And then the rest of them, I'm like, yeah, this is electronic music.
I feel like the last 2 maybe would be more up your alley too. Do you not like those ones that much either?
It's not that I didn't like those as much. I just had that what is it? Wonder Trainer is the first one.
Yeah.
I just had that one stuck in my head. Like, I like that one so much, despite liking the other ones. I still like that one.
Fair enough, man.
Like, I just like that one so much. If this whole album was this song, I'd give this album a 10.
That's immediately fucking thrown through the mud for the rest of it for you. Yeah, I think it's really just, I mean, I'm not going to be super high on this album either personally, but I think your general criticism of electronic is really just like a symptom of not listening to a ton of it. Like we say every episode, because none of us listen to any of these fucking things except for the person that picked the album.
I agree.
I've listened to a lot of electronic in my career here, and I'm not super crazy about any of this particularly. This definitely feels like a debut electronic album. How about you, Tanner? What are your overall thoughts on Rainbow Frontier?
I, in general, liked it. The vast majority of the tracks on this one are very, like, middle of the road to a bit above average for me. The 2 songs I personally really liked were Game Boy and I'm gonna say Nelv. I like that one quite a bit because it was like the fastest paced, most high energy track on the album, and then Game Boy, I went it's a video game, and
they're all falling into the chiptune track hole too easily, you sons of bitches.
Oh yeah.
Spread your wings.
The one I liked the least was Glitch Switch. It gets a lot better in the latter half of the song, but the first half, I'm listening to it, I'm like, dude, this is annoying. The, like, noises it's making.
I'm so fucking with you. That song is insufferable to me, honestly. It's so fucking annoying. And then, like, the last third of it, it goes much more with its, like, I guess, back theme previously, and then basically, like, I think maybe that's the intention of the song, given the name Glitch Switch, where it has, like, 2 sides of it, and, like, one side is primarily, and then it kind of, like, interchanges until the latter half is the second half. Unfortunately, the first half is really fucking annoying. But I do like the energy of the second half of it a lot, so I'm pretty with you there.
Wondertainer did the same thing for me, where I don't really like the first half. It just like it was a bit too disharmonic, if you will, discordic, if you will. But the second half, I really like of that song.
Yeah. I like love that chaos. Like, I love the chaos. Like, I listened to that track maybe 3-4 times.
Dude, I did
each time I noticed something new.
That many times.
I think it's just that chaotic.
I try my best to listen to the album like 3, 4, 5 times if I can, especially because we've been, pecking at this one for like over 2 weeks now. I was ready to go like 2 days into reviewing this, I'm pretty sure. So I've had to like I mentioned before, I had to like keep refreshing myself so I don't forget what the fuck this album is. So I have to keep listening to it more and more and more.
I think another problem with me is like a lot of the time that I'm sitting down to listen to this album is like on my break or on my drive home, and that generally does have a lot of effect on me when I do listen to music. I listened to this album like in this last week a lot during the recess period of my job, and it just, I don't know, it felt like it made the recess period go by faster. It was interesting.
Yeah, I'm just a piece of shit, and I hate like not multitasking all the time. But also, like, when I'm reviewing an album, I want to just sit down and only be doing that. But I'm like, but dude, I could be doing that and watching a YouTube video at the same time, which you can't do.
No, definitely not. Yeah, no, I'm very much in the boat of Tanner. I'm not trying to be super casual, I guess, with my listening, unless it's like my pick and I'm familiar with the album, then I listen to it pretty casually because I already have my general thoughts together. But if it's like one of your guys' pick, I'm always like sitting down there and fucking taking notes and listening to that shit.
I take notes on the majority of the things we listen to, but I think my issue is my notes are really like, in the beginning they had a lot of substance, but now they don't. Like, now you have a lot of like, good track, liked bass, did not like track, drums sucked. Like, you got a lot of just 2 to 3 sentence. So I don't know. I think if I particularly don't like a song, you'll get a lot of that creative writing where it's like, damn, this is awful as fuck. But even then, I just feel like, for me personally, the reason why I like to listen to these more casually, when I sit down to focus on them a little too hard, I start not liking it.
I get that, because you're definitely like, honestly, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because if it's a track that is really in-depth and well-crafted and has a lot of like layers potentially, and you want to be able to decipher what's going on more thoroughly, then you get a lot of value with sitting down and just focusing on nothing but that track. But then you also have the opposite problem where if the track isn't that deep, then you realize how bare it is and almost get bored with it. Whereas if you're in a casual setting, then you're maybe caught up doing other things. Your brain's attention isn't fully on the track, so you don't recognize those flaws as readily.
That's a perfect
Anyways, we've once again got immediately off track with meta talk and not talking about the actual album itself. I'm going to give my general overall thoughts. I'm pretty similar to you guys. I'm more closer to Tanner here. I think most of the tracks I like are pretty middle of the road for me. Like, I don't think they're bad, but I don't think they're crazy standout either. And there are certainly songs I just am not a big fan of much at all, like Glitch Switch. I think Nuclear EX is fucking annoying as shit as well. Up until like a lot of these songs, like the last fourth of it, where it kind of goes into like a fucking, I think it's Tear Out. I don't fucking know the genres. That like, I don't know, that more like heavy sound. Whereas it's not like the fucking generic club music with a bunch of samples over and over again. That's one thing too. This album uses a lot of sampling, which is very indicative of a pretty new creator, because that shit's fucking annoying and I don't like it. But overall, I see it's a pretty inoffensive album. I definitely think the standout song for me is Nelv. That's unsurprisingly the song with almost 5 million views in this random fucking album is the one that I like the most, and also the one that introduced me to this album. It's also the only song I know from this creator. I think Nelv is fucking awesome. It's a very interesting, unique piece. It's super experimental, which is why I had that assumption that the rest of the album was going to be like this song. understandably. Unfortunately, it wasn't, and that's kind of a letdown, honestly. It's pretty schizophrenic overall. It doesn't really feel like it has much of a cohesive theme. Kind of seems like it's a bunch of songs thrown into an album together, which is, fine for an electronic album, but it just feels kind of disjointed, and just kind of, it's just kind of whatever for me, honestly. It just kind of lands pretty whatever. I think it's an alright listen, but I don't think it's anything crazy special.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you just said.
I agree.
Anyways, my favorite track, unsurprisingly, was Nelv. I guess my runner-ups would probably be Wondertainer. I do like that one a lot. I think it's really fun. Rainbow Frontier is probably higher up there too. I'd say that's my top 3. My least favorite track is easily Nut Control EX. I think the song's fucking annoying. Not a fan. How about you guys? How about Tinichi? What are yours? I assume your favorite's Wondertainer.
Oh, yeah, you kind of took that from me. Yeah, my favorite is Wondertainer. Gave me really heavy video game vibes. It gave me multiple game vibes. Like, I could see a little bit of Cyberpunk. I could see a little bit of Mega Man. I loved it. My least favorite, surprisingly, was Last Morn. In my notes I wrote, I did not like how it transitioned from fast to slow to fast, but I don't know why I picked that, because I do like that. Honestly, if I had to switch it up, I'd say I'd agree with you guys. I think Glitch Switch is my least favorite, because in my notes I have the transition is from one bad song to another bad song. So I think that's even funnier.
Last Morn is a very inoffensive song, so it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I also agree that it's like not inoffensive, but it's very much listenable.
Yeah, my favorite was also Nelv, like Jackson here. And my least favorite was Glitch Switch. Just the first note I have on that one is just plain annoying.
Based. Do we have much else to say about Rainbow Frontier?
I don't think so, brother.
Nah.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, I'm going to kick us off with a solid 5 out of 10. I think this album's just okay. I think it has a lot of mid songs, it's got some bad stinkers, and it's got some standout picks for me. But generally speaking, it's a very middle of the road, whatever electronic album.
You know what's crazy?
Dude, I agree with you on 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
We say this in a bit a lot, but is that the first time we've actually all agreed on a rank for an album? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, it is.
I think so, yeah.
Well, there we go. We have a ubiquitous 5 out of 10. Let's go. Just
Fantastic.
Slightly above the normal album.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Very different pieces of music there. Love to see this random electronic album above that. Anyways, Tanner, it is your turn. What are you planning on picking this week?
Is it Tanner's turn?
Next episode.
Yeah, it's my turn.
Oh, I'm tripping.
So yeah, like I've mentioned, I think instead of having a list of albums, I'm just gonna hit shuffle on my Spotify liked songs playlist and choose whatever album that song correlates to. So I'm gonna hit play right here. Okay, that's very silly. What is the album this belongs to? That's very funny.
It's a 2-episode EP, 2-song EP.
No, it isn't. Well, yeah, it's an album. So we are going to listen to the 2017 album Steven Universe Volume 1 original soundtrack.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah,
serious?
that's what you can't really see my phone with my background, but yeah, it was a fucking Steven Universe song that played.
We are going to get a soundtrack eventually, so this is certainly an interesting one to start with.
Oh yeah.
How long is this?
I
know soundtracks can be long.
It's only
as fuck.
it's 37 songs, but it's only 53 minutes long.
I'm not writing notes.
Unironically, I have like 90% of the songs on this liked.
Interesting. Yeah, I watched Steven Universe way back in the day. I don't think I could fathom what a single one of their songs sounds like, but 90% is a pretty high hit rate, so I'm just gonna go in with high expectations and probably be let down. We'll see.
Dude, it is by far the gayest part of me that I liked Steven Universe.
Dude, Steven Universe was kind of peak when it wasn't like 99% random filler.
I never watched Steven Universe. My brother did.
There you go.
Your brother's pays for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, tune in next time to Guapish at the Disco for our exciting review about that Steven Universe soundtrack album. Very exciting. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.